So I know there's a lot of people who kind of ask us questions about what's up with the 333.
Oh, toasty toast.
Yummy.
That's good.
So I know there's a lot of people who kind of ask us questions about what's up with the 333.
Right.
So we just want to chat about that really quick.
What?
It's an angel number. Lots of people have angel numbers. Ours happens to be 333.
Yeah.
It's a number that's been very significantly repetitive in our life since we've met. And a little before we met, it was something I experienced when Greg was passing. So when he was sick and we were laying in bed together, some nights I wasn't sleeping. I was wide awake and I would be upset or whatever. Sometimes I'd get up and in the middle of the night and I'd look at the clock sometimes and it was 3:33 in the morning. And I didn't really notice this until it kept being that same time every time I'd get up in the middle of the night. Sometimes I'd be asleep and I'd wake up and I'd look at the clock and it's 3:33. And I know a lot of people experience this kind of thing. It's kind of a phenomenon. But after a while, it was kind of strange. So one day I was just like, let me just Google this, and it explained what angel numbers are. And the definition of what 333 was very specific.
Right.
So anyway, time went on and I remembered something briefly about a long time ago when I was probably 18 or 19. I had met a patient in the hospital who I was taking care of, who, for whatever reason, she just adored me being her nurse.
Of course.
And her daughter used to say, my mother really likes you, because the patient didn't speak English. She only spoke Spanish, and I didn't speak Spanish fluent. So she said, my mother wants to give you a gift. And I said, oh, no, it's okay. We can't take gifts. She said, no, she has a friend of hers who has a gift and she wants to share the gift with you. So long story short, it was a psychic, which is something I kind of was on the fence about participating in because of the way I was raised and what I was always told about psychics and how it connects to your, you know, religion and what it says in the Bible about knowing the future. But I went to this lady and she told me many things. But one of the things she told me that was very significant was the number 3 was going to be very, very significant in your life. She said, oh, you're going to move in the month of March and you're going to probably travel to another state and correlated with the year with the number 3 in it. And I thought at the time, okay, that's very, kind of open.
It's a bit broad.
Yeah, big broad. So anyway, that stuck in my head. And there was she did some tarot cards and one of the cards was a death card. And she said she couldn't tell me exactly what that meant, but it could also mean new beginnings, not just death. So anyway, I left that session years ago, kept my notes for many years. And when I started to see the 333, I started thinking about that psychic visit. And I realized, you know what? I moved out of California. We moved to Texas in March of 2003. And all these other significant things with the number 3, right? But I was kind of like, I'm not going to focus on that. My husband's sick. I need to focus on this. Long story short, he died on March 3rd of 2017. And that really kind of pulled everything into perspective that this number also represents the Holy Trinity. Mind, body, spirit, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And so I started to kind of, move around life, paying attention.
Yeah.
Then fast forward to us meeting. We were having a conversation on the phone. where I mentioned to you that I had this number that was always popping up in my life.
Right.
And from there, the conversation kind of went weird because I said, I have this number. It's been in my life for a while. It's weird how everybody kind of sees a number over and over. And he says, "Ooh," you said,
Yeah.
"Ooh, I have a number too." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, what's your number?" And you said, "What's your number?"
Yeah.
And we were going back and forth, right? And I
Yeah.
said, "Well, mine's a 3-digit number." And you were like, "Yeah, mine is
Yeah,
too."
me too.
So you told me the story about, well, we basically said, okay, I'll say the first number, then you say the first number, then I'll say the second number, then you say the third number. We were just like,
Yes.
oh, you're going to say it's the same one
Like teenagers.
as me. Yeah, just going to copy me or whatever.
Yeah.
But you said you started seeing the number.
Yeah, so I started seeing 333 when I was stationed in New York. And I didn't really know anything about it. It just kept popping up. And you really, when you're in the moment of something, you don't really put two and two together. But until after the passing of Nick, I started thinking about that number and how significant it was when it started to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it really stuck out to me because when I started seeing the number was when she became an alcoholic. Like the actual time frame when alcohol became a focal point in her life.
Mm-hmm. Problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the thing. So, but it, hindsight. So fast forward when we got together and we started realizing that this number was significant for the both of us. Um, a lot of the big decisions that were out there for us, 333 was surrounded by it.
Yeah.
So
So one of the things was, when we decided to look into purchasing a home, we had traveled around the area and looked at many, many houses. And in the house we are in now, we had come here once before.
like
And
5 times.
yeah, they're building their new houses. And we had decided at the time that even though it was a great opportunity, the houses were very close to each other. And we just didn't want to be that tight. We just wanted to have a little bit of space
Mhm.
to, we have a lot of children. And we wanted our children to be able to come home, and we just wanted this to be a place where we were. So um, we forgot about this place, and then we kept looking. We got to a point where we were getting a little discouraged
Yeah.
because we didn't want to move out of the city to
Mhm.
be able to get what we wanted. And then we got a phone call from this area,
Yeah.
from a guy that was in the sales office. He said, hey, we're on our last phase, and these ones have bigger backyards, and we have a great lot. Why don't you guys come back and look at it? Of course, we came out and we looked at the map because it wasn't a house, it was
Yeah,
just
it's just
dirt.
dirt.
And we looked at the map, and he showed us this corner lot, and there's nothing behind us, and our neighbors are pretty positioned really good next to us. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is great, this is perfect. But we
Yeah.
have to put 10 grand down right now, like today. We had to make a decision because if we didn't do it today, somebody else was going to come swoop up this lot.
Mhm.
So we were kind of like freaking out in the car, like, are we about to do this? Like, this is a decision
Yeah.
that we have to make right now. And we're in the car, we're driving home, literally having this conversation. We look to the right, and there is 333, the address that was attached to the college, the university that's sitting right there on the street,
Yeah.
right after we walked out. The address was 333
Yeah. Sitting
South
right there in our
Twin Oaks
face.
Boulevard. And we were like, well, yeah, I guess that means we have to buy the house.
Mhm.
So basically, we've seen this number almost every day in some way, shape, or form, but it's always connected to that feeling of you're on the right track.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing. Keep going forward this way.
Yeah.
We're watching over you, or we approve.
Mhm.
And
The one thing that really stands out to me when we saw that number pop up, and it was so vivid. we had talked about, going through all the steps and not getting married, because we were married for so long with other people. It's like, all right, let's just, let's exchange the Costco card, let's buy the house, but not get married. And I remember we were driving on the highway and we were talking about, if hypothetically, if we were to get married, who would be my best man and who would be your maid of honor? And as we were talking about it, to the right, a truck with an advertisement on the side drove by, and the phone number, the last 3 digits of the phone number was 333.
Right.
And it was like, holy crap.
Yeah, and that's just two of like 1,000
Oh my God, it's always
things that
something.
have happened,
Yeah.
and it's always something really significant. Like, it's always during a conversation that's deep enough to where we have to make a decision,
Yeah.
and that number makes the decision for us. Either whatever way we're leaning, it's confirmation.
Yeah.
And it's been significant in really spooky ways, and it's been significant in kind of like that. Okay.
Yeah, we're on the right track.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's so crazy. Like, we've had friends with us when we've seen this number. We've had so many incidences that are just, we're not even shocked anymore.
No,
It's
our
like,
children are still annoyed by us.
oh yeah, completely.
It's like, oh, not again.
You're right. So, while we're filming the podcast, when you see a candle with 333, you see us driving in our car, license plate has 333. That was purposeful. But it's very significant. So anyway, to answer the question that some may have, what's up with that number?
Yeah.
That's, in a nutshell,
It's our angel number. Yeah. It's our peace. It's what brings us some comfort, the tangibles.
It's what we know.
God whispers.
God whispers, and also our people approve.
Yeah.
We feel like they approve. And we feel like they approve anyway, but it's kind of confirmation that they're like, you got this.
Yeah. I love talking about that. I love that story.
Yeah, me too.
Give me them.